Hungry gonna, hinging gonna, digging gonna, squash banana, hungry.
Have you ever had a dream that you could?
Hello again and welcome to this second episode of Helpful Dollar. I'm so glad you're here. I didn't know if you'd come back. Today we're going to be talking about another very important topic. How do I become healthy and happy with my finances? Now before we begin, no, I will not be using the whiteboard today to write things down. Apparently my handwriting is atrocious. But we are going to try something different and use text. Wow. To get into this question, we have to address that financial wellness is actually only one of the 8 spheres of wellness. Did you know that? Well, if you didn't, now you know. The 8 spheres of wellness are emotional wellness, but how does that make you feel one? Spiritual wellness, you have meaning and purpose one. Intellectual wellness, you gotta get smart and educated one. Physical wellness, but how's your bod doing one? Environmental wellness, how's the environment around you one? Occupational wellness, how do you like your job one? Social wellness, find a place to belong one. And finally, financial wellness, you got money one. These 8 spheres of wellness are interrelated, meaning if one's off put, it might put another one out of place. I'll be keen on teaching you financial wellness, but I want you guys to, in your own time, check out some of these other spheres of wellness to make sure your life is in balance. Look for a link in the description below. Now, without further ado, here's the agenda. Woo! Living within your means is where we'll start. After that, we'll be talking about switching to the net worth mentality. After that, setting goals for yourself, which is super important. And finally, finding a game plan that works for you. So, living within your means. What does that mean? Well, it means stop spending money like Beyonce and Jay-Z or your mom and dad, which would be insane because they're worth $1.3 billion and you'd never have money problems. So most people might Hail Mary their checks, buy $20,000 worth of mochachinos and pray they don't go broke. But we can do better than that. So to live within our means, let's break down net income. Ew, accounting. So we start with revenue, which is wherever you get the monies. Could be mommy's allowance, or selling your best friend's stuff on eBay, which I would not encourage, or your good old J-O-B. After you have the revenue, you subtract expenses, which is whoever or whatever you throw your money at. Could be the Disney Plus prescription, or Amazon iPhone cases from popular brands like Makeke, iBlazin, not sure why they didn't put 420 there, or Jaholin. These are all real Amazon sellers of iPhone cases, I just had to use them. Not to mention all the Chipotle that you've been racking up, even after that E. coli outbreak back in 2016, because man, they make one hell of a carne asada. After revenue and expenses are taken out, we get net income. All the moolah left if you didn't spend it all at Starbucks. So what's the rule here? Do not spend more money than you make. By understanding this, we can find ways to make more dollars, throw less of it, and make a bigger ending amount. Your helpful dollar tip, a new thing, is to take your consistent income from last month, go through all bank and credit card purchases, then take a look at how you did. Are you in the positive, the negative? If you're in the negative, we have room to improve, but that's okay. That's why you're here. Once we have identified living within our means, we got to switch to the net worth mentality, which is huge. Remember the equation before? This is the fun relative of it. Yes, more math. In this equation, we start with assets. It's the thing you talk about at dinner parties and mansions with your monocle and scoff about the town peasants. No, it's actually just ownership over a thing that has value. Way more lame. Ownership over a thing like a lucky penny or your laptop. And some of these assets can make you money. So a car isn't an asset if you take a loan out for the whole amount. But once you start paying it off and have some skin in the game, you have a little equity, which means you're starting to own that asset. And if you own a car, and let's say Uber with it, actually Lyft, because Uber is not as rad as Lyft, then it's a money-making asset. Ooh, that's exciting. After we have assets, we have to take away liabilities, which means that you owe someone else something. Things like student loans, or your clueless friend Mike that tries to hype you up at the bar by talking about your hot exes. Not now, Mike. So once you have these assets and subtract liabilities, then we have net worth. And that's how they make that net worth number that you see online for celebrities on the interwebs. Learning how to navigate your life with goggles that are net worth focused is how you become over 9,000. That was a Dragon Ball Z reference. I like to say net worth is the objective truth to your subjective goals. The objective truth? Well, that means that it's definitive. You can't argue it. That's the net worth number. But it's only as valuable as your goals. The subjective truth, that's going to be all the things that you care about specifically and are up to just you. An example of the net worth mentality is a rich person with $100,000 in assets and $85,000 in debt is only worth $15,000 in net worth. That's actually worth less than somebody with $20,000 in assets, which is 1/5 of that $100,000 and no debt. So you got to start thinking net worth. Once we've done those two things, it's time to set some goals for yourself. What is your life's dream? For your career, do you want to start a llama daycare? Maybe you want to own a bunch of land and wait for the zombie apocalypse. That's cool too. Or you want to be the best employee who lives in a pineapple under the sea. Well, fry cook, you could definitely do that too. What about for your family? Do you want to have all the kids? None of the kids? Some of the kids? And what about your lifestyle? What do you want to do? What do you want? If you haven't thought about this stuff, start thinking about it now. Yes, it may change over time, but this determines what kind of plan you need. Financial wellness is not having the highest net worth. It's finding a level that suits and fits your lifestyle while making you happy. Oh. So what's your helpful dollar tip? Start writing some SMART goals. SMART. Specific, measurable goals that are attainable, realistic, and have time. I'll look for a link in the description below. I'll include how to write some SMART goals. Finally, find a game plan that works for you. Now that we got learned, set some super spicy goals. It's time for you to just do it. Oh, thanks Shia LaBeouf for that. You start looking at your dollar management and then distribute to your dollar offense and your dollar defense. These are all things I just made up. I will explain them. Dollar management is where we address our liabilities. Is it a gross little leech like student loans? Or maybe it's a liability that can make us more money than it actually costs us to hold. Once we talk about that, we have to build a dollar offense and a dollar defense, which I'll explain in just a minute. We also need to minimize expenses, which means throw less money at people because it's not nice to throw things. And maximize revenue, which could be throwing a temper tantrum in your manager's office until you have a raise. I hear 100% of the time that works with a 0% success rate. Once we've got a dollar management, we got to move to the dollar offense, which is retirement-related investments. Oh, so exciting. And investing in stocks. Oh yeah, I love memes, where the numbers do the things on the chart. Not to mention passive income, which is how we make money while we sleep. Don't totally quote me on that, it's more than just sleeping. After dollar management, dollar offense, we have dollar defense, which could be saving up for an emergency, having an emergency savings. And no, the sale at Target is not an emergency. Man, I always got to say that for somebody. Building insurance, which is paying a monthly premium for the moment that poop hits the fan. Poop, because we're keeping it PG rated over here, folks. And diversification, which is what the Joker did in Batman: The Dark Knight when he put Rachel, Batman's boo thing, in one warehouse and Harvey Dent, the district attorney, in another warehouse. You know, because if he puts them in the same warehouse, it's not a safe way to protect his assets, I mean his kidnapped people. So folks, dollar management, dollar offense, dollar defense, this is how we Indiana Jones our way to the Holy Grail of not being broke jokes. So to recap, we just have to do it! That's frightening. So let's say you make $20,000 a year and spend $21,000 of it in that same year. Well, you're in the red, the bad zone. So your goal is to start breaking even, or better yet, be in the positive. Being positive is great. Okay, so say you're a little farther along and have net income, revenue minus expenses, of $1,000. Woo! Start thinking of ways of building assets and eliminating bad liabilities like credit card debt or student loans. Already thinking about these things? Great! Start thinking about what you want in life and set some goals in SMART format. Did that too? Well, y'all whiz out, Harry. Okay, you overachiever. Time to think about the plan moving forward. Start drafting ideas of your dollar management, your dollar offense, and your dollar defense. Stop telling you what to do? No! I get a sick kick out of doing it. But in all seriousness, you should be proud that you're even watching this. Too many people don't know where to start or may not even care. The reality is, the journey of 1,000 steps really does begin with the first one. And if no one else has said it to you, I know you can be a finance rock star in your own right. You special person, you. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to identify which of the 4 areas, living within your means, switching to the net worth mentality, setting goals, and finding a plan you're currently in with your finances, and from there, write down 3 ways you can make progress into the next phase. Again, look for a link in the description below on how to write SMART goals, as well as more information on the 8 dimensions of wellness. So, give me a like if you learned one thing of value. Comment to keep the conversation going, and subscribe for more infos on getting your financial bot in shape. Next week, we'll be diving more into details on dollar management, so stay tuned, and don't you dare forget, everyone needs helpful dollars.